to skedLIVE. The Quebec City mosque attacker, now named as Alexander Bissonnette, was inspired by far-right French nationalists and U.S. President Donald Trump. The 27-year-old's online profile and his friends say he didn't express an interest in extremist politics until March last year. Bissonnette faces 6 charges of first-degree murder and 5 charges of attempted murder with a restricted firearm. Police have identified 6 men who were killed in the shooting, and the 6 victims came from various places around the world, including Guinea, Morocco, and Algeria. 2 victims who were taken to hospital are still in critical condition. More than 1,000 people gathered at vigils across the country to honor those who lost their lives on Sunday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau attended the vigil in Quebec City and said, "We stand with you. Our responsibility to you, citizens of Quebec, and members of the Muslim community all across Canada endures." Friends and family remember the victims as gentle, caring, and important members of the community. George Street between Richmond and Adelaide was closed after a man was shot multiple times and killed before the assailant drove off in a blue vehicle around 2:40 p.m. last night. A witness says he saw a man standing over another on the ground just before shooting him repeatedly. About 7 hours later, multiple gunshots were heard near Gerrard and Sumac Street. Paramedics found a man with no vital signs, who they pronounced dead upon arrival at hospital. The victim has been identified as 18-year-old Ali Reisig. Police are searching for a dark SUV witnesses say the shooter escaped in. City Council has voted to defer Mayor John Tory's push to phase out public union garbage collection in Scarborough. This means the issue will be referred back to staff for further study. Controversy surrounds the mayor's push due to a 2015 report from Solid Waste Management Services that showed privatizing sanitation would not save money. Under new management now, Solid Waste Management Services has a new report that shows the venture might actually be financially worthwhile. Now let's check out what's happening in the entertainment world with Fallon Hewitt.
Here's your Skedline entertainment news for today. The father of Pac-Man is dead at 91. Masaya Nakamura, who has served as a top advisor to Japanese toy and game software maker Bandai Namco, died on January 22nd, the group said in a statement. No details were given on the cause of death. Pac-Man, a monster-eating game, went on sale in 1980 and proved to be a huge hit in Japan and internationally, prompting the Guinness Book of World Records to name it as the world's most successful arcade game at the time. The company estimates Pac-Man has been played more than 10 billion times and has been adapted for countless platforms, including Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. Sarah McLachlan is joining the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. The Canadian Music Hall of Fame recognizes and honors Canadian artists that have attained commercial success while having a positive impact on both the Canadian and international music scene. Over the course of her career, McLachlan has garnered numerous awards, including 10 Juno Awards and 3 Grammys. Alongside her induction to the Hall of Fame, McLachlan will be honored with a tribute during the Juno Awards, which will take place at Ottawa's Canadian Tire Centre on April 2nd. Singer-songwriter heartthrob John Mayer is returning to Toronto after 2 years on April 3rd at Air Canada Centre. Mayer announced his North American tour in support of his upcoming LP, The Search for Everything, yesterday. On January 20th, Mayer released Wave 1 of The Search for Everything, his first album in 4 years, which featured songs Love on the Weekend, Changing, Moving On and Getting Over, and You're Gonna Live Forever in Me. Tickets for The Search for Everything Trek go on sale February 3rd. Each ticket purchased online will also include a physical copy of The Search for Everything. Check out johnmayer.com for more details. Oprah Winfrey, the inspirational talk show host, will join CBS's 60 Minutes in the fall, the network announced today. In a statement put out by Jeff Fager, the program's executive producer, Fager believes Oprah is the perfect fit for the program, and he is thrilled that she will be bringing her unique and powerful voice to their broadcast. According to a statement, the powerhouse interviewer, producer, and executive is extremely proud to join the show and has been a big admirer since she was a young reporter, and is proud to join the forces of the historic news program. She also added that at a time where people are so divided, she has the intention to help facilitate real conversations between people from different backgrounds. Michael Bublé has announced his resignation as host of the Brit Awards to focus on caring for his 3-year-old son Noah, who is fighting cancer. It was announced last October that the Canadian crooner would headline the show on February 22nd in London. Just 1 month later, Bublé revealed on his Facebook page that his son had been diagnosed with cancer. Bublé said that both he and his wife would put their careers on hold to devote their attention to helping Noah get well. Bublé is still slated to host the Juno Awards on April 2nd in Ottawa. This year's contenders for CBC Books Canada Reads have been unveiled. Starting March 27th, 5 Canadians will battle it out to become the next Canada Reads champion. The contenders and their chosen books are singer Chantal Kravetsik defending The Right to Be Cold by Sheila Watt-Cloutier, performer Humble the Poet defending 15 Dogs by Andre Alexi, actress Tamara Taylor defending Company Town by Madeline Ashby, comedian Candy Palmater defending The Break by Katharina Vermette, and veteran Jody Middick defending Nostalgia by M.G. Visinji. The Canada Reads debates, which take place from March 27th to 30th, 2017, will be hosted by Ali Hassan from CBC's Laugh Out Loud. Canada Reads 2017 will be broadcast on CBC TV and CBC Radio 1 and will be live streamed on cbcbooks.ca. I'm Fallon Hewitt. Back to Sam for more news.
Thanks, Fallon. The acting U.S. Attorney General Sally Yates said she would not defend President Donald Trump's immigration ban yesterday. President Trump fired her almost immediately afterwards, putting more pressure on senators to either confirm or deny Jeff Sessions as the new Attorney General. President Trump is also set to reveal his pick to fill the vacant Supreme Court seat at 8 o'clock tonight. But before that, Canada's House of Commons have announced an emergency debate on the U.S. immigration ban to be held at 7:30. Boy Scouts of America announced on Monday that they will now be allowing transgender people to join the Scouts. Instead of considering the gender on the applicant's birth certificate, Scout leaders will instead take into account the gender a child or their parents has listed on the application form. This decision comes after an 8-year-old boy was asked to leave the Scouts last fall for being transgender. Now let's go to Jake Clutchy to see what's developing on the scoreboards.
I'm Jake Clutchy, and this is your sports update for January 31st. Kyle Lowry had some colorful language to express his feelings on President Trump's recent travel bans. Lowry, along with Raptors president Masai Ujiri and head coach Dwayne Cracey, spoke to reporters yesterday after President Trump applied bans to several Muslim-majority countries last Friday. Speaking to reporters, Lowry said, "Our country is a country that's home of the free, and for that to happen, I think it's BS. I'm not going to get into it too deeply, but personally, I think it's BS." Lowry is one of several players now to speak out against Trump. Others who have spoken out include championship-winning coaches Steve Kerr from the Golden State Warriors and Greg Popovich from the San Antonio Spurs. The U.S. Olympic Committee has announced that the show must and will go on. The committee confirmed that the U.S. government's ban on visitors from several Muslim-majority countries will not affect foreign athletes traveling to the U.S. for international events. Chief Executive Scott Blackmun and USOC Chairman Larry Prose said in a press release, "The U.S. government has today advised us that it will work with us to ensure athletes and officials from all countries will have expedited access to the United States in order to participate in international athletic competitions." USA Wrestling announced yesterday that it plans to send athletes to the World Cup in Iran next month, despite the fact that Iran has claimed it will ban American visitors in retaliation to Trump's recent ban on Iranian visitors in the U.S. Let's take a look now at tonight's matchups, and let's start this off with hockey. The Toronto Maple Leafs square off against the Dallas Stars tonight at the American Airlines Center. Austin Matthews and Tyler Seguin are facing off after their stint representing their teams as All-Stars. Matthews and Seguin both bring a strong offense to their teams, but the Stars have long been struggling this season with their defensive game. The puck drops at 8:30 on Sportsnet and TSN 1050. Now let's head over to basketball. The Raptors take on the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at the Air Canada Center. The Raptors are currently standing 4-6 in their last 10 games and now must face All-Star starter Anthony Davis with the Pelicans tonight. Davis scored 36 points in a recent loss to the Washington Wizards. This will be a test for Toronto's Jonas Valanciunas' defense skills tonight. The tip-off is at 7 p.m. on TSN and Sportsnet 590 The Fan. And the Humber Hawks are back at it again with 2 games on Thursday. The Humber women's volleyball team are looking to clinch their 6th straight OCAA West Division title on Thursday when they play the Redimere Royals. The Hawks are currently first in the West, holding a 14-0 record. The Royals are 6-8 and hoping to clinch the last playoff spot in the West. Devin O'Connor led the Hawks last time against the Royals, scoring 15 points. The Hawks will have to watch the strong defense of Charlene DeBreeze on Thursday. The first serve is at 6 p.m. at the Humber Athletic Center. And right after that, we have the Humber men's volleyball matchup against the Royals as well. Both teams right now are sitting at 3rd in the West and with 9 wins and 5 losses. Last time the Hawks faced off against the Royals, they took a 3-1 loss after having had a string of wins earlier on in the season. The Hawks will still have a fight on their hands before landing games in the postseason. The Royals have 3 strong scoring players, with Mitchell Harris leading the way, and the Hawks have Clayton Blanchette landing most of their points. This is going to be a tough match for both teams on Thursday. The first serve is 30 minutes after the women's game wraps up at the Humber Athletic Center. And it's that time of year again, and Sunday, of course, is the big day. This year, fans will be glued to their TV sets, as is tradition, to watch the New England Patriots and Atlanta Falcons face off in this year's Super Bowl. Super Bowl week kicked off yesterday with the Media Day, where players from both teams faced off against a media mob that was invited by the National Football League to ask their weird, strange, and wackiest questions. The 51st annual Super Bowl takes place on Sunday in Houston, Texas, and kickoff is at 6:30. That's your sports update for today. I'm Jake Clutchy.
In business and technology news, StubHub is launching a Canadian website. It is all part of the online ticket venue's efforts to address its shortcomings with its second largest market. Canadians currently have to buy tickets from StubHub in U.S. currency. When the website launches in the second half of this year, Canadians will only be able to use their currency for Canadian events, but General Manager Jeff Pryor says soon international events will be available in Canadian currency. StubHub sold over 1 million tickets to Canadians last year. The Toronto Real Estate Board says 110,000 homes will be sold this year. This is the third year in a row that sales will top 100,000. If you're in the home buying market, the Real Estate Board says prices for a house will rise anywhere from 10 to 16%, with the average price for a home costing $825,000. In other real estate news, Vancouver is lifting the 15% foreign home buyers tax for international citizens working and paying taxes. The move is being done to attract skilled professionals, with Premier Christy Clark saying she wants the best and brightest. Currently, non-Canadians account for less than 10% of Vancouver home buyers. New Democrat housing critic David Eby criticized Clark for not banishing the tax from the start, but Clark's head of communications and issue management says the move comes now because they have amassed data on the tax. Cyber hackers have taken on the Bank of Canada. According to a newly released report, bank employees were sent 25,000 emails in November 2015. The emails asked the receivers to open an attached document only to have a program with a distasteful name installed on their computers. The program is designed to steal banking information. Because of the bank's security, only a few emails actually ended up in employees' inboxes. The ones that were opened were able to uninstall the virus due to a second layer of security. Hackers are persistently trying to break into the bank's information, with the bank receiving 15 million unwanted emails in only 1 month. A Toronto-based software company is making inroads into the American market. The program, Wealth Simple, has spent only 3 years building its brand. The program is a so-called robo-investor. That is, it is a program that uses a computer program to invest in stocks on behalf of the user. Despite almost being laughed out of the room when he first presented the idea, CEO Mike Katchen now employs over 20,000 people. Its main benefit is its low operating cost, which Katchen feels will make it attractive in American markets. And speaking of expansion, McDonald's restaurants are opening in 50 locations in Russia. This is on top of the 73 that opened last year, which exceeded their expectations. Although less than last year, the head of McDonald's Russia says they are not slowing their expansion. Kazmat Kaspelkov said he is giving his partners more time to gather pace. He is encouraging production in Russia, which will protect the company from fluctuating currency and restrictions on imports. That's your business news. I'm Daniel Plant.
Thanks, Daniel. Pastor Brent Hawks has been found not guilty on both accounts in a gross indecency and indecent assault trial. The allegations stemmed from an incident in 1917 involving a 16-year-old boy at the time. Hawks, and a prominent human rights activist, has categorically denied these allegations throughout the trial. 7 people have been killed in Ukraine during combat between Russian-backed separatists and government forces. The fighting itself ended up trapping dozens of coal miners underground by destroying an electrical substation. Since this morning, the miners have been rescued, but the sudden surge in fighting has caused the most casualties in weeks. Both Russia and Ukraine blame each other for the increase in combat. And now on to weather.
I'm Rob Lowry, and here's your weather forecast for the day. Today will be a high of 0 with a low of -2. It's mainly cloudy outside with a 60% chance of flurries. Now for your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow will be a high of 1 with a low of -7, being mainly cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries. On Thursday, it will be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -3 with a low of -11. Friday, we'll also see some more sun with sun and clouds, but it will be a little bit chillier with a high of -5 and a low of -9. Saturday is set to be a cloudy one with a 60% chance of flurries with a high of -2 and a low of -6. Sunday, we might see some more sun with a mix of sun and clouds with a high of -3. That's it for your 5-day forecast. I'm Rob Lowry for skedline.com.
Thanks, Rob. That's all your news for today. I'm Sam Layden, and I hope you have an awesome day.